The local bourse is likely to have a positive session in early trade this morning, given the momentum in Asia. The JSE's all-share index could follow suit despite concerns about the Omicron variant that sent investors into a panic mode late in November. Locally, all eyes are on the widely anticipated third quarter GDP data. Carmen Mpelwane is portfolio manager at Absa Asset Management, and she joins us to talk through the latest. A very good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us. So perhaps let's start with a sense of how the rand is faring in early trade ahead of the release of the third quarter GDP figures, rather.
Yeah, so following the significant weakness in the rand after the announcement about the new Omicron variant, we saw this morning that the rand is strengthening significantly. And I think that's largely based on the fact that as new information comes out about the variant, the significant concern around it and the impact thereof on the economy is being reduced. So that's definitely the significant tailwind this morning prior to the GDP numbers coming out.
And let's focus on that, right? So what is it that you will be looking out for?
So as we're going into GDP, what consensus is looking for at the moment is year-on-year up 3.7%, keeping in mind that last year we were just coming out of level 4, level 5, so that's why there's that significant jump. However, quarter-on-quarter looking for a decrease of about 0.8%. And as you mentioned, that's largely driven by the impact of the unrest over July and into August.
The GDP print for the third quarter is due later this morning, so I guess we'll keep an eye out in terms of what it is that you are looking for. So oil prices seem to be extending gains after a near 5% rebound yesterday. Talk us through some of the driving forces behind that.
Yeah, so we saw the oil price dipping below $70 in the last few weeks. However, that's recovered significantly, and this morning already up 1.5%. That's largely driven, I think, by, number one, the Chinese imports, where we've seen a significant jump, and that's on the back of the allocations for private refiners being increased, number one, as well as the agreement with the Indian Oil Corporation with Russia in terms of their 2 million barrels per day agreement. So we're definitely seeing that being fueled. And again, once again, the impact of the Omicron variant, where we're seeing the risk being reduced, and that the easing of concerns around whether or not we're going to see economies close again and movements sort of being restricted seems to be easing off. And that too is boosting the oil price this morning.
Well, MTN Uganda's shares have climbed by as much as 2.5% on debut after an initial public offering that was underscribed by 35%. How is the share faring this morning?
So we won't see anything yet. The Ghanaian stock market isn't open as yet. But what we are seeing following yesterday's movement, and specifically in terms of information from MTN South Africa, is that because of the undersubscribing, they were looking to offload about 20% or reduce their shareholding by 20%. They were only able to do that up to 13%, and have announced that they intend to get to the 20% within the next 3 years.
I'm curious to get your thought in terms of President Cyril Ramaphosa's West Africa nation tour. In terms of intra-Africa trade, we are not at levels that we should nearly even be dreaming of. What have you made of his visits?
So I haven't been keeping a close eye in terms of that, but my general perspective on it is that this is a long time coming. Unfortunately, we've waited a few decades in terms of getting this correct in terms of general trade with Africa. So I would be hopeful that we get at least some positives out of the meetings that he is going to be holding that will ensure a more seamless operation in terms of trading with the rest of Africa. It will benefit not just us, but also the rest of Africa. So I look forward to seeing what comes out of it. Unfortunately, I can't give more than that.
On that, your perspective well landed. Thank you, Carmen Mpelwane, portfolio manager at Absa Asset Management. Thank you very much.